Hello and welcome to my very first daily coding challenge video. I'm going to put one of these videos out every day. There's a great website called Daily Programming Challenges which will email you these once a day through the new challenge. They're typically interview questions. But today we're going to have a look at this one that was recently asked by Google. So, given a list of numbers and a number k, return whether any two numbers from the list add up to k. For example, given 10, 15, 3 and 7 and k of 17, return true since 10 plus 7 is 17. And for a bonus, can we do this in one pass? Okay, so we've got our little to-do list app here. I made that in another video. If you're interested, it's on the channel. I can put a link in the description. There's not a whole lot to this particular challenge, so there won't be a vast amount on this to-do list. But let's first put in a brute force solution, which should be straightforward enough. And then we'll work on the bonus part to see can we do it in one part, which I'll probably use a hash set for, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And the last thing I want to do is, for now, I'm just going to use the numbers here that are given in the example, and I'm going to actually just put them into an array, but I'll add features at the end for user input features. That way we can solve the problem for any any list and any target number. Okay, so we're just going to come over here and we're going to have an integer array, and we'll call it numbers. And we're just going to put in what they gave us here in the example. So we have 10, 15, 3 and 7. I'm just going to have an int called target and set that to 17. Now I know in the example here it says k for the target, but I like to have descriptive variable names, so I'm going to just rename that to target. And the last variable we need is a boolean for checking if the solution is present. So let's just call it solution, and we'll put it to be false initially. I think booleans are false by default, but just to make sure it's properly initialized, we'll put that in anyway. Now, rather than making a whole new method, let's just do this method in the main. So we'll have an integer I equals 0. Yeah, I is less than numbers.length minus 1 I plus plus. So the idea here is to do a nested for loop, and we're going to have for int j equals a is going to be equal to I plus 1, j is less than numbers.length j plus plus. So we're going to take the first number, add it to the second number, and then add the first number with the third number and fourth number, and if none of those are a solution, we move on to the second number and start adding those, and so forth until we've exhausted all the options. So we want to do an if statement here. If numbers at I plus numbers at j is equal to our target, then we want to set our solution to true and break. So as soon as we found the solution, we've solved the problem and we can break out of the for loop. And then all we need to do is print out our solution. Print solution. Okay, that should be that. So I've got a command prompt open over here, and I've just navigated to the folder that we've saved this into. So let's just see can we compile this. Daily challenge 1.java. Compile with no issues, and let's just try and run it. Daily challenge 1. True. Okay, so that's working. Okay, let's just change the value around in the list. Maybe let's change to 7 so we don't have a solution that adds up, and make sure we're getting a false output as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just going to come back into my code. I'm going to change this 7 to a 9. And now nothing in this should be able to add up to 17. So when we run our code, we should get a solution of false. So let's go back to our command prompt. And we will just add, we'll have to compile it again. jvac daily challenges.java, daily challenge 1 even, and then we'll just run it. So this time when we run it, we should expect it to print false, and it does. So that's fine, that's the brute force method. So now we have a brute force method completed. We can check that off of our list here. Next thing is to have a look at the bonus method. Okay, so we're back in our code now, and I've just taken out the for loop here, the nested for loop, because we want to solve this for the bonus part in one pass, which means only one loop. I've also changed this back to a 7, and I've imported utilities. And the reason I've imported utilities is because the way I want to challenge or attack this really is by making a hash set, and it would be a hash set of type integer. It doesn't explicitly say integer in the question, but the examples in it is integer, and I think it'll suffice for now. And we're just going to call it my hash set equals new hash set, and there. Okay, so this time when we're going through a loop, what we want to do is add each number in the list to this hash set, right? So we're going to do my hash set dot add numbers at I, and now we're going to check if the hash set contains our target minus the number at I, because if it does, that means that there's a solution. So my hash set dot contains numbers at I, sorry, target minus numbers at I. And if it does, then solution is true, and we can break. Okay, so there's no need to keep looping after we found the solution. And we just print out the solution again. Okay, so we're back over in our command prompt, and I'm just going to recompile that. Compile with no problems, and let's run it. True. Okay, that's working. So that is the bonus part solution. We're doing it with only one pass using a hash set. Of course, there's other ways to do this. This is just the one that most naturally kind of came to me. Okay, we can now update our second part. We've completed the bonus part. So the only thing left to do here really is put in those user input features. Okay, so now we're going to get some user input here. The question doesn't explicitly say, it does say a list, but I'm not sure if it means a list in the sense of like a Java list data structure, or just it's a list of numbers. So I'm going to kind of take some liberty with it and say, let's get a user input array. So I'm going to have a scanner here. System in. I'm just going to have the user decide on the size of the array. So int size equals sc.next line, next int even. And let's just do a little prompt. Enter the size of the array. Alright, let's put in the size of the list even. And that's fine. And then we're going to have a loop that will fill the array. 0, I is less than size, I plus plus. We need to first make the array, sorry. So int array numbers equals new int array of size. We can take this out, and then we want to loop through it and fill it in. So numbers at I is equal to sc.next int, and we'll just put another prompt in. Enter a number for index plus I. Okay, and that will fill our array. And now what we want to do is get the target number. So let's get that in first. System print enter the target number, and then int target equals sc.nextInt. So I'm using the same variable names, I'm just changing the way in which we get them. Everything else stays the same. That's essentially it. So let's compile and run that and see what we come up with. So I'm back over my command prompt, and I'm just going to quickly run this program that I've put in those user features. So it's asking me to enter target numbers. Let's put 12. Size of the array, or size of the array is 5. Let's go number 12, 8, 9, 52, and 3. True, because 12 and 9 makes 21. So that's working. Okay, so with that we've completed everything that we set out to do. We've solved this challenge, and we even did it with the extra constraint of doing it with only one pass. So thanks a million for watching. I hope you enjoyed or that you learned something, and I'll be uploading a video like this with a different challenge every day, as well as some projects I might do, such as the to-do list here you've seen throughout this video, and other things I could do just for fun. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.